Hey guys, welcome to another video on the Inside Spurs Show. And happy Sunday morning and happy game day. Obviously, Spurs play today at 2 o'clock. So, sitting here being only a handful of hours away until Spurs play Southampton at home in what could potentially be a really defining game. And not because, it's going to take you up the table through into Champions League spots. No, it's not actually whatsoever. It's more so what this game could do for you in the coming week. And when I've talked about this game on Friday, I talked about this game and I talked about why it's a massive game because Frankfurt in the week is the season. Those two games within the next week is the season. Okay. This win, sorry, this game, it isn't a win. It's not guaranteed that it's going to be a win. This game could propel you. It could push you into that game with for fans, just some hope, if I'm honest. Apologies for my eyes. I had a really poor night's sleep, hence why they're a little bit bloodshot. Don't worry about me. I'm all good. But it could propel you into Europa League potential success. So I'm nervously excited for this game. That's the way I would sum it up. It's the best possible game to go into those Frankfurt games. It is in theory, let's be real. At present, it might change by the end of the season, but right now, the worst team in the Premier League, and you're playing them at home. You're not going to their stadium. You're playing them at home. Marshall, mate, how are you? It really is ideally the perfect game. You're not having to travel to Man City. You're not having to go. You're not having to play Liverpool. You're not having to play a London derby. This is a team that Spurs have success against, and there is evidence of success against Southampton over many a year. So, yeah, I'm nervously excited about the game. I am. Pardon me. It's a burp that came out of nowhere. I'm having a stinker of a morning, evidently. But I am obviously wary of how, if this game was to go a little bit sideways, what the fallout might be. We all know what Twitter's like, and it's a cesspit of misery. But also, what that, if it was to go sideways, what that could do to the fan base on Thursday night. And that's the other thing. You want the fans who are going to be there on Thursday night to come in with an energy, with optimism and hope that, hey, look, we just play some cracking stuff at the weekend. We just go again. There's another thumbs up. You're welcome. We go again, and that's what I'm wary of about this game, is what that impact of today can do on Thursday, what it can do on the following Thursday. Momentum is a real thing, and it's quite contagious. A lot of the times where you think about how poor this season's been, ironically, a good win today, people won't forget about the season, not at all, and nor should they. But they will kind of start to forget a little bit about Chelsea, and they'll just kind of hone in on this game because you've won 2-0, for example. So when I talked about it in my preview, I was like, this feels like a game where Spurs need to go out there and win by, multiple. That's because it's against a team who concede, on average, multiple a game. And it's also a thing where you have to kind of go, you beat them 5-0 away from home earlier on the season. You now need to, I'm not saying you need to win 5-0, that's outlandish, but you need to go out there and win by at least a couple, So that's kind of my attitude with this game. I think, I'm really excited about, seeing some of that rotation that, we probably do. Sorry, we are probably expecting, obviously, with Thursday in mind, seeing maybe more of the Matisse Tells and seeing more of those sort of players. Because even though, yes, the season's not been good, and I'm not sitting here being like, oh, I'm Ange in or I'm Ange out. It's really irrelevant on this topic. The way I look at it is there's players in that squad who right now, with the health that this squad has the opportunity to actually have a fair shot at it. So I'm looking at Matisse Tell, and I think Matisse will probably start today. And having him have a fair shot at things. And then also that breeds confidence. And that's the other thing. A player who maybe let's have a think. Let's say Pedro Porro starts today, right? And he gets an assist and we keep a clean sheet. You know, a guy that he has struggled a little bit because of the sheer volume of football he's played. I do understand that, you know, he's probably played more than what he should, but you know, he's been a bit of an Iron Man and he's managed to, you know, stay fit when pretty much everyone else has broken down this season. He's had a bit of a form issue, but a clean sheet and assist, something like that, say even just a clean sheet. Right, we're building some form, we're building momentum, and building confidence. You know, thinking about Archie Gray, getting Archie in the midfield. You know, we've seen him at Bournemouth at home. We've seen him for pockets of time, but Bournemouth at home was the first time we truly saw it. See it again. Let's go again. Because in reality, he played against this team last year in the Championship. He played against them in the Championship playoff final. So let's see what he's got. This is a great opportunity to do so. You know, seeing maybe more of the Bergvall in the sort of creative 10 role, maybe. I mean, I think he will go with Bergvall because obviously Bergvall played 60 in the week. Maddison played obviously a bit more. And I feel like Maddison on the bench for the rest for Frankfurt. We think about the attack. I think it wouldn't surprise me maybe to see Johnson start today because obviously Odobert started in the week. You know, I'm not saying he should or I want him to. I'm just saying what I kind of expect. You know, think about like I said, Matisse Tell, Richie hopefully might be a fixture this afternoon. You know, he's been fit, he's been training, he's had a few weeks to get up to speed. Hopefully, at least he's on the bench. It's something where, you know, get 10, 20 minutes, something out of him just to, you know, again, build him that form. I don't expect to see Destiny start today. I think Destiny looked a little bit leggy at the end of the Chelsea game. So I expect to see Spence starting at left back this afternoon. I expect to see Ben Davies to start this afternoon, giving Mickey some rest. And I know a lot of people sort of go, but why should he need rest? You know, he's had a few weeks off, and it's not the time off that he's had. It's the time that I'm going to expect him to play a lot of football. If I can get him a game off of rest, then I want to get him that game off of rest. You know, obviously Frankfurt in the week, you got Frankfurt the following week. You still got Wolves play next weekend. So if I can get Mickey some rest, we should be looking to get Mickey that rest. Otherwise, we are going to make his hamstrings implode. And they will just go bang again. All right. So there's that. But it's an opportunity, I think, for the midfield area where, you know, Bergvall's obviously had success. Maddison obviously is probably the best creative player that we have. Bentancur played decently against Chelsea, but obviously form-wise over the last few months, barring his time with Uruguay, really hasn't been great. So there's midfielders in there that should be sitting there going, hey, there's an opportunity for me to stake claim to a starting berth. You know, okay, yeah, Bergvall's been good. Yeah, okay, but Bentancur, you know, he's hit a bit of form. And Maddison's had, you know, that creativity ability. But let's be honest, we're sitting wherever we are in the league, 14th, 15th, 16th, wherever, I don't really care. To be honest, 14th, 16th blends into one, you know. So the way I look at it is there should be an opportunity for those sort of players who go, okay, well, we've not been very good this season. Midfield's not been great. This is an opportunity for me to stake claim to a starting position. And that's the thing that I'm sort of thinking about. You know, people obviously look at it doom and gloom. I understand it, to be fair. I'm not critiquing you for thinking doom and gloom. It's not been a great season. I'm just trying to find any positivity. And the positivity I find is it's an opportunity for some of the players that maybe haven't played a ton of football recently to turn up, play well, And hell, you never know. Take a spot of one of the more regular players recently. Take one of their starting positions. I think Odebear, obviously having played a few games recently he's had a bit of success. I think he's taken the right wing position because of that. Could Matisse tell? With now some health around him, really now giving him the chance that we really should hope to see, giving him a chance, because the whole idea was him to play with Solanke. That was always the chatter. Obviously, when he was at Bayern, he would have played with Kane. I don't think he was there with Lewandowski. I think it was just Kane, so he would have played with Kane. So let's see. Okay, so Solanke, I expect to start, say, Playtel today. Let's see what we got. Let's see what we got with him, and I've seen some good stuff. Obviously, he had a really solid international break with France, the under-21s. So did Odebear. So, continuing that form as well. It's we talk about Bentoncourt's Uruguay form. I'll continue. Even players that played under-21 football, Archie Gray, Matisse Tell, Odebear, those guys can continue momentum, and that's the way I want to look at the players that had a good international break. Maybe they didn't play against Chelsea. This is an opportunity for them to take claim in what will be a really massive 180 minutes against Frankfurt. We get them at home, first leg. That's bonkers. That is a massive game. That's a game that we have to go to Germany and we have to be up on aggregate, in my attitudes. If we go there drawing, okay, it's 90 minutes, winner takes all. We go there losing, I don't really feel very confident that we're going to get any luck through that game. You go there with a win. You go there with a buffer. You go there with, something to fall back on, So, yeah, today is an opportunity to spike momentum, spike confidence. And obviously, I say spike in a good way. I don't say spike in what could be a bad way. I say spike in a good way to raise those levels. I mean, you can hear from all the interviews, these players are void of confidence at the moment. Well, right now, you have got the best opportunity to build confidence. You've got Southampton at home. If you can't win this game, no offense, Southampton, what game are you going to win this season? So Spurs should be winning this game, hands down. Spurs should play well in this game, absolutely. I mean, we were 3-0 up. We were 5-0 at half time in the away game earlier this year. So we can score against this team. I expect Spurs to score. I've sort of said I'm going with a 3-1. I genuinely do think Southampton, even though Southampton don't score a ton of goals, I expect them to grab one. It's us. I don't think defensively I'll ever sit there and say, oh, yeah, we're definitely keeping a clean sheet. We're definitely keeping a clean sheet. No, I'm not going to sit there and say that. I don't think I'll ever have confidence to sit there and say that. But I do also think we will score multiple. So I am going to go 3-1. I am going to have a bit of faith in the players today. Maybe it's blind and maybe it's silly faith, but I choose not to be negative and I choose not to be miserable for today at least. I want to go into this game, win the game. Doesn't ruin my weekend. It's beautiful and sunny out there. I'll be able to enjoy at least a good evening because Spurs haven't ruined my evening. That's the way I look at it. That's the way I look at it, So, we'll see on that side of things, and also, again, it isn't just on the players. It's an opportunity for the manager to get people not on board. I think there's a lot of people that are off and you're not going to get them back. There's some that are off and you might be able to get them back. There are some that are indifferent and there are some that are still ange, right? You've got a real bevy of different sort of selection of where you are, right? I think for the most part, even the people that are ange out, they want to win. They do. They want success. The Europa League's massive and they win Europa League. You get Champions League football next year. Well, that was the aim of the game at the start of the season, was get Champions League football. However you do it, however you get in, that really was the aim. And if it was, fifth this year because we get an extra spot, then you've done your job, right? But you also win, obviously, European trophy. That's massive. We haven't done that in a very, very long time, So it's massive on Ange. But I don't mean this in a way that, oh, we're going to win every game now. Ange Ball's going to be back. Let's cook. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying now is get those fans in the stadium just on board with you guys playing there and then. Get them on board at Southampton today. Give them something to rave about. Give them something to shout about. Give them something to be happy about. They bloody deserve it for the money that those fans, spend on tickets and things like that. They bloody deserve it. But also, if you were to win today, and you were to win today, let's say you win, you just have a good game, you win well, you win 3-1, like my prediction is 3-1. All those fans, they go, brilliant, we won. Happy days. That's what we set out to do today. We won well, brilliant. Frankfurt Thursday. We're going in there with a bit of momentum now. And those fans turning up on Thursday will shout that a little bit louder. We'll make that a little bit more noise in a good way. Because obviously the idea is you want Frankfurt not to turn up and go, oh, that's lovely. What a brilliant place to play. We're going to knock some football about, No, you want to turn up and go, this is hostile. Like John McGinn said it. He was like, one of the most hostile stadiums ever been in was Tottenham Hotspurs when he was Tottenham versus Villa. So it can be done, but you've got to give the fans something to shout about. Now, I do think also the fans should be given stuff to shout about. The fans sometimes at the end of the day just need to shout every now and then when the form's dipping in a game. And it happens to most teams. You go through lulls in games. That's when the fans give you a little G up. I do it on Foot Manager all the time. I don't demand more. I press fire up. And then Florian Wirtz just absolutely goes bazooka wild on me. He's my centre attacking mid on Foot Manager. It's incredible. What a player. So look, really looking forward to the game today. It's an opportunity to not right wrongs. It isn't that kind of game. This game doesn't rectify this season. But this kind of game actually can propel you into potentially saving the season. And that's the way I look at it. What's happened has happened. Okay. I think of all those months from August until basically the start of April. I'm kind of forgetting that now, not in a way that I know that we've lost games and the league table's not great. I'm not ignoring it, but I'm kind of putting it to the side. There's a lot still to play for this season. Today is the start of that for me. We don't win away to Chelsea. We don't. I could name you managers that we've had that are phenomenal managers, didn't win away at Chelsea. Or if they did, they won once. This, for me, is the opportunity to bounce, to leap, to go into really the season on Thursday. That could be the season over. You lose on Thursday. That is, for me, that could be the season done. It won't officially because, hell, Frankfurt gets sending off 10 minutes into the second leg. Game bloody on. Let's have it. Not saying you would. I'm just saying a hypothetical. But today is the opportunity to go into that game and churn out a really good performance. Don't know how really, I know I'm talking about Southampton, but just really quickly, just want to see how Frankfurt got on yesterday. Frankfurt lost 2-0 away yesterday. They lost to Werder Bremen, who are mid-table in the Bundesliga, who have conceded 53 goals this season. I'm just being real. I think a lot of people have kind of gone, Frankfurt is such an amazing team. You can get that team. But I've said that so many times this season. It's hard to kind of continue with that trend. But you can get that team. Today is the opportunity. They're not going to come into this game in form. They're coming off the back of a loss. A 2-0 loss to mid-table. You know what I mean? We can go into the game. Okay, we're having one day less rest, but we're not having travel. But we come into that game. We won 3-1. Form... I wouldn't say you're in form for winning one game, but it's better than coming off the back of a loss is the way I look at it. So that's kind of that. Dante, member, 3 months, absolute legend. Cheers, Andy, for the streams. Hope you enjoy. You and everyone else are healthy, enjoying a good weekend. Hope for 3 points later. Absolutely, mate. Absolutely. And do you know what? Got a glass here. All right. I need some summer fruit squash. I need a win today. I want to have a summer fruit squash on stream with all of you talking about how bloody sexy the football was today. I need it. All right, I need it. Okay, I've missed it. It's been such a long time that I've had a summer fruit squash on stream. I've intentionally made sure not to have one because we haven't won. But when we win, we crack open the squash, and I will be there. And I will be there, and I will make sure we have one. Yeah, exactly. Idente with the sticker, membership stickers. I can't believe they actually worked. I didn't think they would, but it is summer fruit squash time. You already know it. So look, looking forward to the game today. Big win is needed. We go out there, do our business. We turn up, get through this game. Injuries as well. That's the other thing I want to mention. Hey, let's get through this game healthy. All right. Don't be rocking into Frankfurt where we're already missing Kulu. We're missing Danso. Let's see about Richie. I would expect Richie to at least be on the bench for Thursday if he's not on the bench today. I could do with us not. I could do with us not coming into the Frankfurt game down even more players. It'd be nice, you know. If we win, 2 thumbs up as well. You already know it. Not going to do it now. Remind me if we win. But yes, we will be live after the game to do a review of the game. I hope to do a review of the game where I've got summer fruit squash in hands. All right. I might even have 2 glasses because we've won a game. All right. So look, thank you so much for you joining me this morning. I know it's early. All right. I know it's early. You can tell it's early. My eyes are a little bit bloodshot. I'm probably going to have to go wash my face and get my face a bit more appropriate looking. I've got to go out and walk the dog. So thank you so much for joining me this morning. Go and enjoy the mornings, your afternoons, your evenings, wherever you're in the world. We'll be back later to talk after the game. Go and enjoy yourselves, and I'll speak to you all then. Take care. Peace.